We're all one house beat away from voguing the house down boots, but there's one piece of queer culture nobody understands. And then the apps have gone crazy. We're talking face pics and Femme Phobia tonight on Dear Black Gay Men podcast, and the show starts right now. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman. That's at JAI the Gentleman on IG. It is Monday, so it's time for a new episode. No, it's Tuesday. It's still time for a new episode of Dear Black Gay Men podcast. It's still our short, bullshit-free step out of our comfort zone to talk about all the emotional ups and downs along our journey to happiness. Hopefully, this is your reminder of how dope it is to be black gay men who love black gay men. If you're watching the replay and want to skip to the main story, timestamps and chapters are in the description. Y'all help me with this one. I will tell you that this show today almost didn't make it. Cause baby, when I tell you Uncle Jay has been going through, I've been going through today. But I am here. I'm very, very excited about it. And I can't wait to have a conversation with y'all. I'm getting my box the right size. You know, I get really particular about like the size of things. Oh, that's funny. Okay, there's something backwards about butch queens who don't cut for femme girls. I think that's just my opinion. I've gotten comments and tweets. Are they called tweets anymore? Now that it's X. The people have been in the DMs about how I have a problem with masculinity. The fact is, I believe masculinity is great for the people that want it or are it. But as for me and my house, we need a butch queen. Tonight, we're reacting to one creator's explanation as to why he doesn't do girly boys. And we shall see. J926 was first tonight. Hey, J926. Holla at your boy says, hey. Panthro says, holla, what happened? Comic-Con is in the chat. Oh, I can't wait to hear the sheep-like comments. Ja, I hope I'm saying it right. Ja King God says, Jersey's happening in Jersey. Just got a new governor. Shout out to everybody who voted in Jersey. Adam K says, I made the live. Welcome. Comic-Con says time went back. New here finally got to catch the live. That's with Cell 07B9T. Now, granted enough, some people have like changed their name on there and it just doesn't reflect. WFG12 TV said Wicked Fresh Media Group is what WFMG stands for. He said, what's up, fellas? What's up? What up, though? I appreciate y'all. I didn't realize this box gets so much bigger. There we go. I think it is. Winter Minute says, I like masculinity and I'm a butch queen. Hey, everybody. Morris Singletary. I know who Morris Singletary is. Hey, Morris. Wicked Fresh Media Group says, I'm Masc4Masc. The conversation is already on and popping, and I'm so excited about it. A King Like Royalty says, my name is finally showing up like it's supposed to. Promise that's not me. Okay, so I will tell you this. The conversation that has been happening in the comments and in my DMs is about this Masc4Masc situation is because I have been so vocal about liking feminine boys. Like, people just tell me, people have stopped me like in the street, in the club, when I'm outside and be like, am I too feminine for you? And I'll be like, there is nothing is too feminine for me. I like gay boys. I like them gay. So, but when it comes to like masculinity, it's cute to look at. But, and maybe I am the drama, and judging by the conversation in the comments already, I am absolutely drama. But in my head, when someone is masculine all the time as a gay man, if a gay man is masculine all the time, it feels as if they are fighting against something. It feels as if they are holding something back that I want to give them permission to let out. Maybe that's just me. Like, I get that we are all, that masculine exists in queer culture. I get that the people come in a masculine version. There is a masculine size to every blouse, every top, every bottom comes in masculine. I get it. But sometimes I'm just like, don't you just like I feel like every gay boy got a yes bitch in them. Just a yes. Doesn't every gay boy got that in there? Isn't that in there somewhere for all of us? Am I the drama? Y'all really help me with this. Morris says, we like who we like. How does someone want for me? They can't. How does someone want for me? They cannot. I might have missed a word in there, friend. Chris Pine says, hatred of women is where this Masc4Masc comes from, hating the femininity in ourselves. I do think that there is always a deeper conversation when it comes to unpacking preference. Just like, you know, I prefer, just like there's a deeper conversation about me liking girly boys. This next comment says, John King asked me, do you like men who are androgynous? I do not like androgyny. Hear me out before we get into this video we're going to react to. I like a man who expresses in every version of manliness. I like a feminine man. I like a middle of the way man. Back in the day, in the BGC days, we called it in between. I like long as you got a yes bitch in there, long as you got a bitch, girl, queen, hoe, slut, like long as you use that terminology as terms of endearment, then I probably will rock with you. But I do not like gender benders. Like, I do not like you walk into a room and I can't obviously tell you're a man. Like, you can be a man in makeup. You can be a man with your nails painted. You can be a man in high heels. You can be a man in women's clothes. But I need to be able to see a man. If I look at you and think, oh, that's a girl, not one of the girls, but if I be like, oh, that's a female, or I have a question about whether or not you are a man or not, then no, that ain't my thing. And that is part of the reason why I don't do long fake hair. I cannot ever do long fake hair, even though I got fake hair in my head right now. But I do not ever do, like, I couldn't do somebody with like box braids down to the floor. I couldn't do somebody that had like a 20-inch bust down or something like that. Takes it a little far for me as far as my attraction is concerned. Now, can I respect you? Absolutely, because everybody deserves respect. But that doesn't catch my eye and make my dick jump. Stillwater 4097 says, I've never understood the obsession with trade in our community. Also, the word has been bastardized and used as an umbrella term. Trade has been bastardized. Let me Google bastardized real quick, and I'll get back to that one. Morris says, I really look at this mask look for mask look. Let's talk about it. We about to. Some men are just naturally masculine. I get that some men are just naturally masculine, but in my head, and again, I'll accept it if I am the drama. But I feel like every single gay man on the planet has a yes bitch in there about something. It could be they could be yesing the football game for all I know. Sure. But there got to be a yes bitch welling up on the inside of all of us, I believe. And if I were to stumble upon, or y'all tell me that men exist and they, like, gay men can live their whole life and not give a yes, then, you know, you will have taught me something new. Carlos Dominique Murray said, hey, friend, hey, hello. No, I don't want that at all. I don't do that at all. Don't do which part? Help me understand. Wicked Fresh Media Group says, I'm a Masc4Masc girly. He didn't say girly. I'm Masc4Masc. That's all for black boy joy. I like doing boy stuff. I don't necessarily resonate with girl stuff. Okay, but not resonating with girl stuff is different than not resonating with gay stuff. Like, I in my head, it is not just masculine and feminine and there's no middle ground. In my head, there's masculine, there's feminine, and then I don't have a better term for in the middle that's just gay stuff. Like, there are some common things that gay men do better than everybody else. Like, you go into a gay man's house and there's going to be a lot of lamps. I don't know a gay man who no, I only know one gay man, maybe two. My best friend is one of them. And when I tell you that bitch loves an overhead light, she loves the big light. And that fucks with my ADHD every time I visit her. She just wanted everything is, oh, let me get up. Oh my God, my eyes. Ugh. But for some reason, like in my head, every gay man just will have a little incandescent light with a little soft white light bulb in it that's like right here, and the whole house is just dimly lit. Maybe again, like Joaquin, he said, "Yes, you are the drama." I'll take that. I'll take that, especially with this show. How this show is going today, baby. When I tell you we were late, we were 3 minutes late. You know, for those who don't know, I hate being late. I hate starting this. This show starts promptly at 9. I am not one of those that's gonna get on and be like, we're just gonna wait for everybody to get here. No, nigga, we are starting the show. So the fact that we started at 9:03 today, I think it might have been 9:03, 9:04. That hurt my feelings today. Okay, but there was a creator who took to the internet to tell us why he does not do femininity. We're gonna react to that. It is a reel. It's very short, but we are gonna react to his perspective. Hopefully it plays, because you know I ain't have time. Like, it's very funny we're talking about femininity. I did not put on a face today. Like this is like my skin after I washed it. You see, like this is what my skin looks like. I ain't got no makeup on. My eyebrows ain't done. Today has been a day, but let's watch it. Let's go.
Attracted to it. I don't really care to have feminine friends because I'm not femme-phobic. I'm not femme-phobic. I just don't really give a fuck about that femme culture shit. Like, I don't give a fuck about it. I'm not attracted to it. I don't really care to have feminine friends.
Pause right here. Now, I think if y'all rock with me, if y'all fuck with me, you know what I'm about to say. This man with these beads in his head, with these barrettes in his head, don't do femininity. So help me here before we even get into the merits of what he is saying. I do not believe that expression by itself makes you feminine. But I think that for him, I feel like the bar for what masculine is different from generation to generation. Because in the masculine that comes in my head is super hard, is them on the grill on 4th of July, is don't fuck with me while the game is on kind of masculine. The masculine that comes in my head is old school masculine. And I feel like as the generations go on, like the generation that is before me, I'm Gen X, Y. I'm Gen Y, millennial. So the Gen X, I feel like their version of masculinity was a lot more masculine than my version. And then whatever comes after us, the rest of the millennials and all that, I feel like their version of masculine is a lot less masculine than mine. And so for instance, I don't know if him not liking femininity is him asserting that he then is masculine. But in my head, even wearing that in your hair would not qualify you as masculine in my head, based on the definition that comes from the generation I come from. Am I the drama? Am I the drama? I think Morris Singletary said the beat said enough. Adam K, we only like 10 seconds in. Adam K already says he sounds angry. Are you talking about him or me? I hope you're not talking about me. If I sound angry, then I'll just fix my tone. Cree said he's sassy. We have a game called Sassy or Trashy. Ja King said that Femme dude is the drama. Okay, so here's the gotcha about that. We didn't say now we added the Masc4Masc piece into the chat. He has not asserted that he is masculine. Now, granted enough, I ain't did a deep dive on his content. I was tagged in this and I just downloaded it. But he ain't asserted that he is masculine. He just said he doesn't have patience for other people's femininity. If you assert that you like masculinity, does that assume that you are then masculine? Help me understand y'all's perspective on it. Because I know a lot of feminine boys who only do trade, who only do DL, who only do super masculine, who only do that. They want to be the, I'm a cook and clean and bring my man the big piece of chicken kind of situation. That is what they prefer. And while I also enjoy someone bringing me the big piece of chicken, I don't mind frying it myself. While I prefer, my man keeping a clean house, I will also have a broom in my hand with some Windex. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, while I like some of the traditional stereotypes around femininity or being the femme person in a relationship, I acknowledge, though, that I can do the same shit, too. I got 2 hands, 2 feet, and a dick just like my man do. Comic-Con said he needs a hug and a Snickers. Carlos got a long one in there. It says, I'm Butch Queen on the grill with painted nails still watching the game that's being played because I like football, but will still be embracing my natural femininity. That's fair. Now, I will watch the game if it's on, but I ain't going to be like, y'all leave me alone on Sunday or Monday or whenever it is. Like, I remember Monday Night Football. Carlos also said that's because she wants to be the only female dished out in the room full of trade with no competition. Okay. Let's not venture too deep down the shady tunnel, but let's keep going. Right here.
Friends, because when I do have a feminine friend, I just hate y'all thought process. Anytime I have a feminine friend, for some reason, y'all always have a DL lover. And as a grown-ass man, why do you want a DL lover? And why y'all always into it with the baby mama? Why can't you leave the dude alone? You don't leave it alone because y'all transgender gays and you femme gays. Y'all like to be treated as women, and that's why you like to date quote-unquote straight or DL men.
Okay. That argument just turned itself on its head. So hold. Okay. Let's unpack this. He was saying, now granted enough, I paused it, so my bad for chopping up his commentary. But he started by saying he's not into feminine men because, as he offered some clarity, he's saying feminine men in his experience keep around a piece of trade, a DL man, a something that is not openly gay. And then feminine people, trans women and feminine men, as he has explained it, end up into some dramatic situation with the baby mama. First, is this real life? Because again, my interest is so far away from this. Like, I ain't barked up the DL tree in a long periodically time. So is this real life? Like, this happens in real life? Gay boys and trans girls are still the dolls, and the girls are still beefing with the baby mamas. I want more for us. Not this man's perspective. If he's explaining actual situations, I want more for us so bad, friends and family. I just want more for us. This is craziness. We fetishize masculinity to the degree that we will allow ourselves, as dope as we are as queer folks, we will allow ourselves into a situation where we beefing with somebody's baby mama, that don't make no goddamn sense to me under the sun. Chris Pine as DL men usually code as masculine, whatever that means. Heavy on the whatever that means, Chris. You on my row. WFMG TV says there are masculine chasers. Why? Maybe, okay, maybe I'm learning about myself here. Maybe the reason why I am so deeply anti-masculine is because I want you to be out of the closet. One thing that I never have to deal with because of the type of men I am attracted to is I never have once had to negotiate. You got to be my roommate in this situation, and you got to be my friend here and whatever. Like every time I've been with someone, because of the type of men I'm attracted to, they are excited to be with me, and I am excited to be with them. Opinions be damned. And I'm not saying every masculine person is then, masking as, DL or not out. It's just the likelihood of a femme boy or somebody who wear makeup or a butch queen or whatever, the likelihood of them being in the closet and somebody don't know and that creates drama is very, very low. Because they walk in the room, we'd be like, oh, the girl's here. And I love that. I'll tell y'all a story. So I dated this dude when I was in my very early 20s. I lived in San Antonio, Texas at the time. And my boyfriend, we got together inside 2 weeks. San Antonio, he lived in Dallas. I lived in San Antonio. That is that is 200 miles between them two cities in Texas. But I was from Dallas. And this is BGC days. We met on BGC. His screen name was Freaky Ass Nigga in Texas. Because he was from Virginia, but he moved to Texas. When we got together, he was living with a family in Dallas, and he came to visit me one weekend in San Antonio. I bought him a bus ticket. I put him on a bus. He came down with like a week's worth of clothes, and I planned on sending him back to Dallas. He got put out of that house. While he was in San Antonio, he got put out of that house because he wasn't paying no rent. Good reason, but he wasn't paying no rent. One thing that Trey, that was his name, one thing Trey taught me, he taught me to stand 10 toes down on who I am. Trey had this funny accent from Virginia. He had goals from K9 to K9. They were permanent. He wanted to get his teeth fixed so bad because he smoked like a sailor. But I love that little man. He was like 5'7". He used to say he was a D-boy. Like Trey knew how to get to the money, right? But he was so fucking gay. Like he would do drag, he would shave his beard, and he had long locks and a whole bunch of shit. And one thing I walked away from Trey understanding is you only got one life to live, bro. You can either live it hiding who you are or being who you are. And he taught me that shit because I saw him walk through the world with so much confidence. Every day he got up and he was excited to just be himself. And that is one trait that I've picked up on in every femme presenting man that I've ever met. On one level or another, they had to fight for their own confidence. And that, I think, is why I like femme. Is why I like the boys that look gay. Like you don't just wake up with being able to put on makeup and all of a sudden you're confident enough to rock that look. At some point, you wearing a full face of makeup was new, and you had to convince yourself of it and then walk out into the world and convince yourself that nobody's staring at you. And that confidence is what I like. Chris, let me go through some of these comments. J926 says, there's a whole conversation going on, but I hope I can jump in. J926 says, can't be me. I've worked too long and hard to be out of the closet just to revert back to dealing with the DL dude. My thoughts exactly. Carlos said, for example, old buddy from the place we worship at that Bishop's armor bearer, I would eat that boy and his high booty left, right, and sideways. I'm 97% certain I know exactly who you're talking about. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Drewski says, I mean, it's not our bed. Why even give the situation life? Chris Pine says, we give fetish to masculinity, which is bullshit, longing to be accessible to heterosexuality. We can't be straight, so we want anything that's associated with that. It's all about image. Agreed. Joaquin, well, Rolando before that said Chris Pine nailed it. Joaquin says, the big thing is, as men and black gay men, for that matter, has never been safe. Do you feel like there is more safety in it? I do agree that there are a lot of us who believe there is more safety in being masculine, or at least being perceived as masculine. Do you think there is safety in being associated with masculinity? Joaquin God? Are you saying that there is safety in our proximity to masculinity? Like if I can pull a masculine boy, or if I can date a masculine boy, there is more safety in that than being with, a butch queen or someone who expresses a more feminine? Stillwaters 4097 says there is sometimes a taboo element in pursuing men who seem straight or unattainable. Sometimes the attraction to trade ties to excitement of crossing boundaries or being desired by a forbidden archetype. Okay. Y'all hitting on it today. NYC BK70 says, I have seen femme men all the time staring, trying to flirt with straight men all the time. A segment of femme men goal is to snag a straight man. I see it in NYC and ATL. Yeah. I mean, now, granted enough, I don't want to just size up every person who is attracted to masculinity, because there are a lot of us who are very, very secure in our femininity or masculinity and are just attracted to what we're attracted to. I think that exists. I don't want to dispute that, and I'll get to that shortly. But I will say that there is a component of the Masc chasers. That's the language that has been put in the chat earlier. I do believe there is a component of that that is rooted in insecurity. Like, in order for me to feel like enough, I have to, I think somebody said it just a second ago, I have to be able to attain this unattainable archetype. If I can pull the straight boys, then that means that I then am enough. I'm good enough. I'm cute enough. I'm fine enough. And that the underpinnings of that is I then am not enough if I didn't do it. I am not enough. I'm not passable enough. I'm not unclockable. I am not whatever. I think that I don't want to make it seem like that is every person's story, but I do know that that is a large piece of our culture. Is a lot of black gay men just do not inherently feel like enough. And so we try to find our enoughness in other places, like in who we can pull or who we can get, whose number we can get, and all those things. Back when I first came out, that was that was the game. Is going to the club and see how many numbers you can get, whether or not I wanted to contact any of those people. If the fine nigga was over there and he was, wearing baggy jeans and tall tees and Timbs, ironically, I'm wearing Timbs today, but if he's wearing all the trappings of masculinity and I could get his number, that means that I'm fine shit. At the time, I was not self-aware enough to realize that means that I don't think I'm fine shit in the first place. But that was just the vibe at the time. Joaquin says, as men and gay men, we have the armor, stoic shield that we have to protect ourselves. We are already at war with self, world, etc. I agree. Rolando asks, who's old enough to remember when Karamo went on Real World wearing pants big enough for the family to live in? I am. I'm old enough to remember Karamo's original face. And baby, that man was fine back in the day. Oh yeah, he was fine before he got all Hollywood. That man was gorgeous. And then he got all Hollywood and started dating all these white men, and he decided to put all that shit in his face. Let me not say that, because I would love to interview Karamo one day. But yes, Karamo was fine with his original face. Let me quit. Let's finish this reel.
I'm sorry, I just don't want to be around a man who wants to portray himself as a woman all fucking day. And then y'all have the worst characteristics of women. Y'all want to call me Femme, but the only thing Femme about me is the pretty.
Can we double tap that? Can I rewind that?
Characteristics of women. Y'all want to call me Femme, but the only thing Femme about me is the pretty.
The only thing Femme about him is the pretty. I'm gonna leave that one there. So let me reacclimate. Okay. So my question for the chat is, do you prefer masculinity? No, I'll double tap on it. The irony about it, because like I told y'all, I like butch queens. I like chocolate. I like black boys. And I know this person from his OnlyFans, and he has body for weeks, days, weeks, months, and years. He is T to a degree. When he said, the way he said for the pretty, the only thing Femme about me is the pretty, I was just like in my head, I'm like, you handsome. Your body T. You got them big ass soup coolers. Like, there are aspects of you that I find him attractive. I just wouldn't have given him pretty. And maybe it's just because I have a very different definition of, like, pretty to me is soft features and the smoothest, most supple skin, and, you know, gel manicures and cute hair, and, you know, like maybe a little light beat on their face. Like, the pretty, he is attractive. He just ain't pretty. Pretty is not, like, pretty is a very high bar for me. Like, when I got a face on, I'm pretty. But I don't know about all that. Attractive, yes. Pretty, no. Okay, y'all, let me know in the chat, do you prefer masculinity? Because I'm really curious. I am genuinely curious. At the end of every show, some of the DBGN family come on to offer their 2 cents on a topic that we've discussed. A couple weeks ago, a member of the DBGN family came on and said this. Check this out.
Everything is not for everybody. So, like, if people are looking for, like, a masculine top, I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, just like people want masculine bottoms or feminine bottoms. Like, I think people should be who they are authentically, and then people should, and then whoever is interested.
I don't know what happened there, but are we mask shaming? Period. Like, that question mark. Like, does it feel as if masculinity cannot live here on Dear Black Gay Men? That's what I'm looking for. I want to do a quick check-in, because one thing that I do know is there's a lot of dialogue about opening up preference, culturally speaking. I'm not talking about individuals, because I don't know the way to change an individual's preference. I can't all of a sudden make, you know, the femme girls make your dick hard, or the masculine boys make my dick hard. Like, I can't do that. But what we can do is create conversation that invites other perspectives in. But are we going so far in the dialogue here on this channel that perhaps it feels as if people who are into masculinity do not have a seat at the table? That's my question. Is it mask shaming, the dialogue that we have here? Randito says, shout out to my friend Pop Culture Guru. Exactly. Going 1771 said, a hole is a hole, pole is a pole to me. Heard, received. Tell 90 said, I like masculinity when it's just a part of a man, but not his whole self, especially if he's in touch with his feminine energy. But feminine energy doesn't always mean art acrylics either. I agree. There is a spectrum of these things. Just like there is a spectrum of masculinity, there is a spectrum of femininity. And I prefer men right at where those two spectrums meet. And they can teeter on one side or another. Give you a perfect example. There's somebody that I am deeply attracted to. And first thing in the morning, glasses. I mean, he got good skin because, you know, gay. But glasses, no face, sweats, jeans, you know, some Air Maxes or something. Fine shit, right? He is fine shit just as he is waking up in the morning. But then he goes out, full beat, eyebrows done, face on fleek, skin like a foundation matching the neck. He might wear, you know, a heel or a pump or a woman's clothes. Still fine shit. I like it right at the intersection of these two things, to where you can teeter over a little bit here and put on some sweats and you know, let's go to Home Goods and buy some shit, or IKEA and build some shit. Or you can Twitter over here and, you know, with a little purse, a little clutch. Like, I like both. But the question that I have is, does the dialogue on this channel, as y'all are the biggest gauge of this than I am, does the dialogue on this channel feel as if we don't welcome in perspectives where it is, I just prefer masculinity? Chris Pine says, no, we are never mask shaming. NYCBK70 says, yes, I do think you can be femme advocating. I am absolutely femme advocating because I believe in protecting the girls. But does that ever venture into mask shaming? Christopher Laws says, I think masculine presentation with slight feminine qualities is attractive. Me too. Light on the slight. Like, you can be one of the girls to me, but again, that's me. Desmond Hamlet says, yes, because I am a feminine bottom, but wanted someone who likes me for me. What do you feel like people like you for then? The fact that you a bottom? Rolando, let me know that. Desmond Hamlet, let me know that in the chat. If you want someone to like you, who likes you for you, what do you feel like people like you for? Rolando says, there was a time when the color pink was considered too flamboyant for girls who were expected to wear more conservative colors. Pink was exclusively a boy's color. Oh, I read that wrong. There was a time when the color pink was considered too flamboyant for girls who were expected to wear more conservative colors. Pink was exclusively a boy's color. It's so fun. Just like high heels used to be for men. Shit. All right, y'all. Something happened. Let's take a break. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman, and I host all the craziness that happens right here in the back room. As far as I know, we are the only queer-led podcast that has its own studio in Atlanta. And we party in the back room. We have a Kiki in the back room.
Get that gooch licked on or something. Like, figure it out. Like,
we have a cocktail in the back room.
Oh, that's really good.
That's what she said. And we grow in the back room. Every time y'all are here, every time you're here, you say something that I'm just like, that really happens? If you're in the Atlanta area, you want to join us in the back room, visit dearblackgayman.com/tickets to see what live shows and events we have coming up right here in the back room. What is stigma? I truly believe that it comes up when you think something can't happen to you. like when we think we could never be femme, so we end up with femme phobia laced all up and through our dating profiles. Or when we don't be out there like that, so we slut shame people for doing openly what we try to sneak and do privately. But there aren't too many spaces where stigma rises to a criminal level like it does with HIV.
Knowingly gave her HIV and never told her he was infected.
We're talking to 4 black men from across the country, all living with HIV. I want to see how stigma comes up in their lives and what we can all do to overcome it. Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Man Podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. It's time for church announcements. Hit it. Every week, I write about the ups and downs of my dating journey on our blog on Substack. It's a deep dive into my emotional and sexual trials while I manifest my man in 2025. You can join for free by clicking the screen now, or the link is in the description. I will tell you this. I got a couple things I want to announce here on Dear Black Gay Man Podcast. I want to do, we have been collecting or a portion of your proceeds of your super chats and your memberships since August 1st have been going into a kitty. We've been saving them so that we can give them back to a nonprofit organization and that is doing the work in the culture. Now, initially, I have said is organizations that are providing HIV care and prevention services, but I wanted to broaden it to just people who are in the culture doing the business of the people. And so we are going to be starting in November. This month, we are going to start giving out that money. As of our last tally, we had $2,252 saved up. It has gone up since then, so I'm very, very excited about that. But we are going to start giving out that money because I don't want to, I ain't going to hoard y'all money. So we are going to have, we're thinking of creative ways of making sure that we can make donations. I'm being very mindful about my language. Creative ways we can make donations to worthy causes that are helping out Black queer people. And so that is one of the big announcements. And then we got 2 big shows coming up. One is coming up on November 19th. We are going to be having a talk about raw sex. So for all the people who do not like us talking about sex, just know November 19th is going to be a big one. We're going to be having a conversation about the sex happening in Black queer culture. I'm very, very excited about it because I know that there is a whole lot of stigma around sex and sexuality. And I really do want to take this opportunity to kind of shed that stigma and allow us to be able to talk very candidly about what we do, what we like, and why we do it. That is happening on the 19th. I'm going to have people tuning in, streaming into the stream from across the globe. Across the globe. Hear me when I say that. To have one conversation, all Black, all gay, all sex. Then again, on December 4th, we're going to have a big show here in the back room, and tickets will be available. That will be a ticketed show, but tickets will be available later this month. So big things happening. Lots of amazing things because you all are the best people on the planet. So special show just on November 19th, another special show on December 4th. And then we will be giving away, we will be making some awards to get the money out these coffers before the end of the year. So shout out to all of y'all for your support. Remember, we'll talk about it shortly, but remember, a portion of the proceeds from your super chats, from your memberships, all those things go to worthy causes that are doing the work in Black queer culture. Now back to our regularly scheduled programming. I may need to start using condoms again. The beauty of preventing HIV in today's culture is that there are options. Condoms are similarly effective to PrEP using once-a-day meds, which is similarly effective to injectable PrEP therapies. But there is a new consideration. My prevention, Jay, my prevention is primarily paid for by my insurance. So when insurance changes, my prevention therapy could, in fact, change. I found this out during one of my recent doctor's appointments. I'm an entrepreneur, so my insurance is in large part because of the Affordable Care Act. Now that it's open enrollment, we have to be even clearer on a couple things to maintain our health in 2026. Number one is what prevention works for you. Some people like the routine of pills. Other people like the feel of condoms. We have to make a clear decision on how we want to maintain our health status, preventing HIV as well as many other things. And then number two, how are you going to maintain that? I can hear my mama's voice in the back of my head talking about, you got injectable money? That's why we partnered with Out to Enroll to ensure LGBTQ Americans have the tools to know what works for our health strategy, and we can find coverage that supports that journey. For guidance on what insurance may be right for you, especially since now is open enrollment for the ACA, and what your options may be, and what options may be available to you, you can go to outtoenroll.org. Follow for more dope queer stories. The best way to support what we do here on Dear Black Gay Men is to become a YouTube member. Members get access to exclusive conversations, the members only chat, and behind the scenes content. And you can join me right here to chop it up on the show. A portion of your proceeds from your memberships and your super chats will be donated to an Atlanta area nonprofit, a nationally recognized nonprofit that is doing HIV prevention and care for Black queer people. Just hit the join button below this episode or send a super chat of any amount. For all the latest updates, follow me everywhere on socials at JAI the Gentleman on Instagram and Threads. That concludes our church announcements. Please govern thyself accordingly, and we will be right back. I've been in the gym so I could do two things. That's one, thirst trap on the internet, and look good for my man when I find one. And that's why I'm excited that support for Dear Black Gay Men comes from Twillery. Black men, whether you're in the gym like me or blessed with good genetics like me, carry our weight in a couple key spots that can make suits and slacks hard to fit and uncomfortable to wear without either having to size up or break the bank in tailoring. But Twillery answers the fit problem with their performance fabrics. It's the right fit for the tailored look and just enough stretch for comfort and breathability. I'm wearing right now the solid performance polo that hugs my chest and arms while tapering just enough at the waist to show off the good parts. Twillery carries suiting, polos, button-ups, and everything to impress at the job or knock someone's socks off on a date. And you can shop for the perfect fit right now at Twillery.com, and we've got a special offer for the DBGM family. Take $18 off your first order by using code M300J. That's Twillery.com, and we thank them for supporting our channel. Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. I thought it was an Atlanta thing, but the apps can absolutely be trash. It's usually a lot of people who are either unintentional with what they're looking for, even if it's just sex. They're uninteresting to converse with and spam you with WIDs and what you want messages, or just some bitch ass that rather hide behind a blank profile than acknowledge that we are gay on these goddamn apps in the first place. At any rate, one creator has been doing a series of videos on IG and TikTok about his experience on the dating apps. I think he is hilarious. I haven't seen this one, but we're reacting to it tonight to see if the apps have changed since I last logged on. Let's check this one out. Hold on. Oh, it's a whole bunch of, govern thyself accordingly. I'm convinced it was paranormal. Wait a minute. Facts. When we hear a story of men being killed in strange places, it usually connected to chasing straight men. I watched the show and there's no Masc advocating on the show like Femme. It's not balanced. Okay. Let me, if I could push back on that before we get to this next video, if I could push back. Like, I do not believe that advocating for a privileged group is always necessary. I do not believe that. There is privilege in masculinity because there is stigma around femininity, around the opposite. Just like there's privilege in being a man because there is stigma around being a woman. Or there is privilege in being white because there's stigma and prejudice associated with being black and brown in this country. And so I don't necessarily feel the need to advocate for those who are privileged, because there is privilege in presenting masculine. There is privilege in being more a man who is born a man, who identifies as a man, who acts socially what men would say they look like. And so I don't know that advocating for masculinity is tremendously necessary. But again, I could be the drama. That could be an opportunity for me to learn. Now, I will advocate for people who are attracted to masculinity, because, you know, that can be anybody. There's a whole bunch of stigma associated with the people who are attracted to masculinity. But I don't know that advocating for those who are masculine is necessary. Am I the drama? NYCBK70 followed up. He said, let me just add, I assume because we're Dear Black Gay Men that everyone identifies as a he. If someone doesn't, please don't take offense to it. You can correct me. I can be corrected if I'm misgendering somebody. But NYCBK70 said there's a stigma around being black and gay. I do agree. But under the umbrella of black gay people, those who are men, were assigned male at birth, or even identify as men and present in a masculine manner, do not experience the same level of stigma as someone who is black and gay and femme. So if we're all black girl, if we're like Dory and Corey said, if you're a black queen and I'm a black queen, that's not a read, that's a fact. So if we are all the same aside from presentation, then there is in our culture a level of privilege associated with masculine presentation as opposed to feminine presentation. And so advocating for people who are masculine presenting, I don't feel is necessary on any front, because I mean, every space that is made for men is made for masculinity. Am I off base? Because I see there's a whole bunch of we're all over the place. J926 says exactly, it's giving all lives matter. I wouldn't go that far. Z007. I don't know why I want to call that Nicaniac, like a maniac for niggas. But again, 007 NI ... There's a pretty struggle where you find a lot in masculine men who are gay. Unpack that one for me, honey. Not honey. I don't want to use that. Unpack that for me. Ben is turning 30. Said disagree. Which part do you disagree with? Rolando says, I'll never advocate for that cohort. They don't need help. Holla at your boy says, couldn't get it out quick enough. J926. Chris Pine says, I agree. Masc is a privileged group. My pink pussy ass does not feel sorry for Masc at all. NYC said, we can agree to disagree. In this world, gay is gay, Masc or Femme. Okay. Now I will tell you, y'all would never know this, but I despise agreeing to disagree. But not to you, not anything directed to you, NYCBK70, because I really am authentically trying to understand a perspective here. Now we can, at the end of it, obviously we can disagree, but I'm still unpacking it a little bit. You're saying that you believe stigma or prejudice exists in our culture the same for masculine presenting men as it does for, let's just say, feminine presenting men. You believe that black gay people are all experience the same level of stigma regardless of their presentation. Is that what you're saying, NYCBK70? 007 says there's a lot of struggle around being masculine and gay just because you are masculine. You're saying that there is struggle. Now, agreed. I agreed. There is struggle around being a black gay person, no matter the expression. What I'm asserting is that if you compare the stigma or prejudice that a femme presenting black gay person black gay man experiences versus that of a masculine presenting black gay man, they are not lateral. The masculine person is experiencing stigma and prejudice based on being black, and which what we qualify as racism. They're experiencing that based on gay, which we qualify as homophobia, but they are not experiencing a level of but a masculine presenting person is not subject to femme phobia. Whereas over here, a black femme person is still experiencing racism, homophobia, but now they've got the added value of, not value, but the added component of femmephobia. It's just there in my head, those two columns are not equal. WFMG says it sometimes feels like masc gays are viewed like a minority in the gay community. There isn't a globally accepted masc gay mainstream identity. Okay, that's a whole lot of words. I would wager that being black and gay, regardless of your expression, means that we don't have to have a globally accepted anything. We don't have to have a globally accepted definition of anything. Like, I'm a butch queen, but there are other butch queens that never have worn makeup, never would. They are butch queens. I wear makeup every time I get on TV except today. I am also a butch queen. We do not have a globally accepted identity around butch queen. We don't have a globally accepted identity around relationship or around top or bottom or verse top or verse bottom. We don't have a globally accepted identity around black. There are many people who identify as black, but their mama is one color, their daddy is another color. There are many people who look black. I know a whole bunch of Dominicans that say I'm not black, even though they're darker than I am. I don't think that when you get into minoritized groups, there is a globally accepted identity around anything. And I would wager, not that I care about the perspective of white people, but among white people, I would wager that there is not a globally accepted identity of what white is. Uh, 007 says some guys don't feel comfortable around their girlfriend. Oh, okay. So you're saying if I present masculine, some other men don't feel comfortable with you around their girlfriend. But that is not stigma, friend. That is one person's insecurity. That does not have a social component. That is not a societal stigma that you are experiencing. That is one person in a insecure relationship with their significant other. So sure, yes, there are many people who don't feel comfortable with me being around their girlfriend, but I wouldn't qualify that as homophobia. That is, yo bitch ass need to man the fuck up. I'm just a dude. And on top of that, your girl got a pussy. Like, and she's feminine and all the things that I am not attracted to. I don't think that qualifies as a stigma or a prejudice. That is just one person having a fucked up notion of relationship and an insecure connection with their person. Chicky 444, said trans and femme men get killed at alarming rates for being in the LGBT plus versus masc presenting men. Help me understand. trans and femme men get killed at alarming rates. Trans men and femme men get killed at alarming rates. Yes, I agree. But I do not think that I have not heard any reports where that prejudice, that those destructive acts were rooted in someone presenting as masculine. I do acknowledge transphobia is rampant everywhere. There are many people on this planet that are prejudiced against, have a hate for trans people, whether it is someone who is a trans man or a trans woman. So transphobia is a thing that can affect people of trans experience in myriad ways, just like femmephobia is a thing. But but if you are a man, born a man, assigned male at birth, identify as a man, cisgender man who presents masculine, I have not seen stigma rooted in your masculinity. I have not experienced that. I have not seen reports of it. I have not heard a story where, a piece of trade was beat down because he was too masculine. And he was then targeted because he was too masculine. I have seen trade that was targeted because they are gay. I have seen butch queens targeted because they are gay. But I haven't seen anybody targeted because they are masculine presenting. Ja King said, I feel like our childhood as little black gay boys has been dehumanizing, belittled, and condemned. Now, I agree with that. Lots of us have a whole bunch of childhood trauma that to a degree is unresolved. Hold on. We got a caller. Let me get my buttons together. Caller, are you there?
I'm here.
Hey, friend, and
What's
you got
going
your
on,
New York hat
fellas?
on. Now, I know who you are. Tell the people what's your name, where you from.
My name is Donnie. I am from Brooklyn, New York. I'm the owner of Big Boy Cabin. But yeah, this Masc4Masc talk, man. This Masc4Masc talk.
Tell
So
me your
yeah, I
perspective.
um I definitely feel like masculine guys. All right, so earlier I had put in the chat that masculine guys sometimes are treated like a minority in the community. What I
Mm-hmm.
mean by that is um whenever you're saying that you're masculine, right? Um, when you think about gay in popular culture, or even just in gay culture, you just kind of automatically think like yes, or the switching, or the finger popping, or all of the colloquialisms that you associate with just feminine, more feminine, feminized men.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when I said there isn't a globally accepted masculine gay identity, what I mean by that is like you just don't associate gay culture automatically with masculinity. You more associate it with femininity, and I feel like that is kind of like the standard. Like even earlier, you kind of said every gay person has a yes inside of them, which is I feel like there's some truth to that, but it's not. We aren't monolithic in that way. Not every gay man has a yes inside of them. It could be true. I mean, we could have some more different types of feminine traits, but I feel like for masculine guys, we don't really get a chance to be happy, be loud, be just black boy, showing black boy joy. That's looked at as feminine, and it's kind of like demonized in that way, where feminine gay men get the right to just do any of that and just be accepted for just being themselves. But masculine guys, we have those parts of ourselves as well that we want to show. We want to be able and feel comfortable to just laugh and like smile in our pictures and do all that shit. But this like toxic masculinity that a lot of us were kind of brought up in. I think I come from your um age range, so I kind of get what you're saying when you're saying the masculine guys that we grew up seeing is different and more masculine than the newer version of masculinity.
Yes.
So one thing I will say about the younger generation is things are trending in the right way as far as like acceptance of being a masculine gay person.
Now, I will say that, and I am guilty of this, is that when people drop certain terms, a lot of culture expects you to prove that shit. Like if you say you a top, we want you to prove that. Like a lot of us expect never taking dick, don't touch my ass, all of those things, and that is a top, right? Or when you
Right.
say you masculine, we want you to prove that shit. I don't want to see you voguing. I don't want to see you like you said, smiling in pictures. I don't want to see all of the versions of expression that we deem somewhat feminine. Even though in my head, I am not more femme because I smile in pictures. I just don't expect you to be if you say you masculine.
See, yeah, and that's what I mean about like the toxic masculinity that was passed down from generation to generation to generation. And when you say the younger gays are less masculine than the masculine that we think of when we hear masculine, that's real, but that's I think a good thing. You know what I'm saying? Because we are more accepting of different types of masculinity today than we were when we were young.
Now I will
But I do think we still have a lot of room to grow.
let me add this. NYCBK70 said we need to stop saying masculinity equals toxicity. Now, what I will say is, and the reason I put that up is because what I think, what I'm hearing, or what rather what I'm learning is perhaps the younger gays are shedding the toxicity of masculinity and being
Right.
able to just express themselves in a way that feels like home. Whereas
Right.
I felt like there was a predetermined version of self that you need to be if you're going to say you the man.
Right. The deep end of the voice, like you know, I've seen so many people code switch just in the gay community and within gay spaces. Like there
Yeah.
are, if you want to come off as masculine, you deepen your voice, you wear a hat, you like, you do these different things to be more masculine. But I mean, masculinity comes in a lot of different forms, and I feel like as men, we really need to start accepting the fact that not everyone is a yes bitch and not everyone is a D boy. You know what I'm saying? There's space in between those things, and
Okay.
people can exist in between those.
But let me also clarify. I don't believe everybody has a yes bitch that comes out. But I do believe everybody got a yes bitch that's in there. It's like everybody got an opinion on potato salad and mac and cheese. I might not
Hmm.
ever make no potato salad or mac and cheese, but culturally, as a black person, I know what good potato salad and good mac and cheese looks like for me. So I might not ever bake up the yes queen myself, although I do say that. But all of us know what that would look like. All of us know a circumstance that would necessitate a yes bitch, even if you're not the one saying it. That's what I'm
Yeah, I
saying.
mean, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay. All right. I know Donnie from Big Boy Cabin. Thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Uh Make sure Donnie, I know he probably going back to the thing, but make sure you put in the chat like how we can get in touch with the Big Boy Cabin, because the Big Boy Cabin is coming. NYCBK70 says, why we act like men just can't be a mask man naturally. Why we act like men just can't be a mask man naturally. Is that the vibe? Is that what you think what I'm saying? I don't think that's what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. My dad and brothers are naturally masculine men. Fair. Fair. I'm not saying, I think what happens a lot in these conversations is we blend together what it means to be a man with what it means to be gay. And to me, those are two different expressions. One can be a man, and man as in masculine, and one can be gay as in sexuality, and those two things exist in the same time. And I believe there can be very, very masculine gay men. I'm just not tremendously attracted to them, but they exist and they should be affirmed. But just because you are gay does not mean you are not then masculine. I'm just saying there is a part of gay culture that we all just kind of understand. And you may not be the one to ever say, yes, queen. I do, but you might not ever. But we all got a perspective on situations that might elicit that response. Does that make sense? Indiana Trailblazer. That name just changed. That was something else just a second ago. But it's first, shout out to you for super chat. But some people get offended because you don't do hair, lashes, or give them fashion advice. There is still a negative stereotype to being gay and masculine. A part of me is like, well, fuck them. Is that bad? Like, fuck them. Like, my response to people who are offended that you're not one of those kind of gays, fuck them niggas. Just like that would be my response to people who are offended because you are one of those kind of gays. Fuck them niggas. Kick rocks and kiss the blackest part of my ass. But again, that's me. Let's take one more break and then we'll we got another somebody joining the chat. I was gonna say we're gonna take another break, but for everybody who does join the chat, you do not need to show your face. Caller, are you there?
Yep.
What's your name? Where you from?
Joaquin guy from Jersey.
Joaquin guy from Jersey who just got a new governor. Shout out to y'all. I hope you voted, but tell me, you got a question or you got you want to add your 2 cents to the conversation?
Add 2 cents. I really believe that because we don't deal with our childhood and our unprocessed trauma, I think that's a lot of it from when we're younger spills into our adult years, and then later as we're elders, because we have other gay boys that's looking up to us to be setting examples. And kind of show them the way, and because the ones that's in front of us they haven't showed us the way, we're kind of just out there in the pond, just kind of like swimming. And then also too, I feel like there's just like so much competition. I don't know. It's just kind of like scattered. It's all over the place. It's like very busy. Do you agree?
Busy how? What you mean?
Like there's a lot going on. Like, all right, so I have gay friends, male and female, but when I'm with them, it just seems to be like, I don't know, just like so much like hatred. Like we'll get into it, we'll be like a little disagreement or whatever, and then it's just like, oh, I can't stand you fucking faggot, and that kind of takes me back to my childhood, being called that, being picked on, and things like that. I'm like, see, why are you doing that to me, and you don't want anybody doing that to you? It's just simple, simple math like that. I thought we were supposed to be helping each other. You know what I'm saying? Like kind of like a close knit family.
Yes. Now, I think you're touching on a couple things that are really important to me. The first is I do agree that we live in a time where people value being just contrary. Like, if you're not 1,000% for me, then fuck that bitch. I don't like you. I don't see you. And we don't give ourselves space, or we don't have the self-awareness to disagree respectfully with people that we're in close connection with. I believe that. But in addition to that, I do think there is this crop of advocates and allies that are just barely in the A. Like, they are just just one step in. I talked about this with Kaya. Kaya is one of them girls that as soon as one of the gays get on her nerves, she calling us faggots and she don't like us and we everything under the sun but a child of God, right? But then we book her for some pride performance and all of a sudden she got a gay kid and she's always been down for the gays and all of that. This performative advocacy, this performative allyship is never welcome here on Dear Black Gay Men. But I think you're talking about two very prevalent things that are happening in our culture. This performative allyship and just a lack of self-awareness that exists among Black people in general, gay and straight, Masc and Femme, tall and short, Black and Black. And it's an unfortunate part about our culture, but it is, I still love us for real.
Yeah, and it don't take all that to be gay. Like I want you to be you. So if that yes bitch is not in you, then don't do it. Because now it's just like you said, it's being performative. And then what do you like? I don't know. Like I'm gay. I'm gay as fuck. Like all right, I give you a quick example. I'm not gonna hold you long. So I don't know if y'all can see. I'm tatted up. I got 5 tattoos on my face. I'm tatted on my body, and I got piercings. And I was
Where did this
checking one of
light
the
just come
trucks.
from? Like,
Oh, I
are
got
you
two. I
sitting
got
right
two
next to a?
iPhones.
Okay, because I was just like, you got a flashlight just out of nowhere. Okay, but go ahead. I'm listening.
And I was checking in one of the trucks because the work that I do, I work outside. And the Puerto Rican dude was like, "What's up, mamas?" And I'm like, "Dude, full. I got full beard. I mean, I'm tatted up and I got piercings, but come on, don't disrespect me like that. Like, come on, like you cool and all, but it's just like one day he texts me, he's like, you cool and all, you good fam and everything, but I don't roll that way. And I'm like, well, you were never my type anyway. I wasn't even like trying to like get with you, but that's the thing. Like, I think when we kind of can like break down the
Okay.
femme and mask, let's go. What is a human being? Let's go. Let's like for real, fuck all the clothes, the makeup, the heels and shit. What is it to be a human being? Because before I can even get in touch with my masculinity or femininity, how can I be human? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do think that like I will tell you my awareness of self came in layers. Like I was aware of myself as a Black person before I was aware of anything else. And then I became aware that I am a man, and then I became aware that men do certain things and little boys don't do this and little girls only do this and
Yeah.
all those things. And so it was layers of shit that I had to unpack so that I could just be myself. But I do think that a
Yes.
lot of times we get stuck in these conversations about masculinity and femininity and all that, not just because I got a podcast and I created the conversation about it, but also it's because a lot of us are in the process of either breaking down these concepts for ourselves or we are in the process of figuring something out for ourselves. And
Yeah.
I think the hardest thing for us to do as a society, as Black queer folks, is to give each other the grace enough to acknowledge that they are in a process. Like how someone addresses me is going to be in large part governed by what they think of me, which has nothing to do with me.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy. Like the gaslighting be real, the push the insecurities because it's like, bruh, like I like, and he was Puerto Rican at that too. I like Puerto Rican, I like the Dominicans, I like all that. But it's just like, all right, bro, like I already deal with anxiety and my own issues, and then being gay is like another symptom, like another thing that's already added. Growing up in church and all that, in hell, and all that shit, and it's just like I want to be me. I don't need any other things to add on it because when I walk out of these 4 walls, I don't know if I'm gonna even come back home. You know what I'm saying? Like we as Black men, we already got to fight the world when we go out these walls. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
So it's like we got bigger fish to fry. Men are out there, whether they're gay or not, they're killing themselves. No one's talking about it. And I'm glad you have this, this space, this podcast that we're having these conversations because no one's talking about it. Everyone's like being quiet about it, hush hush, like I don't know, like walking past it, and it's total bullshit to me. And it's like, like
Well, I do think that. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. I do think
no doubt.
that it is imperative that we start to create space for us to just talk about the things that are important to us, and that is why Dear Black Gay Men exists. Because I mean, I love us for real, hard and strong, and we are some of the most amazing people on the planet if we allow ourselves to be. And so that is why we're here, and you're one of the best parts of it. I appreciate you for joining me on the show.
Appreciate you, boss.
Of course. Thank you so much. All right, teammates. I think that's a good place to take a break. We'll be right back. What up, though? I am Jay the Gentleman, and I host all the craziness that happens right here in the back room. As far as I know, we are the only queer-led podcast that has its own studio in Atlanta. And we party in the back room. We have a Kiki in the back room.
Get that gooch licked on or something. Like, figure it out. Like,
we have a cocktail in the back room.
Oh, that's really good.
That's what she said. And we grow in the back room. Every time y'all are here, every time you're here, you say something that I'm just like, that really happens? If you're in the Atlanta area, you want to join us in the back room, visit dearblackgaymen.com/tickets to see what live shows and events we have coming up right here in the back room. Welcome back to Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. I am Jay the Gentleman. It's before we go, I can read, I promise. Before we go, let's comment on comments. Hit it. The comments keep the vibes going through the roof right here on Dear Black Gay Men Podcast. If you want to join, add your 2 cents to the conversation. You can go to livestream.dearblackgaymen.com to join us live on the show. I will say, this particular comment, the mass struggle is not your femme struggle, but there is a struggle. If you are a part of the LGBTQIA rainbow, your story makes mine valid. One thing that I will add to close out the conversation is what resonated the most to me about this particular comment, and thank you for putting it in the chat, is your story makes mine valid. And I think that is something that even I had lost in this conversation. The fact that there is a femme struggle, that I have been the victim, I won't say the victim, but I have been subject to femme phobia and stigma, says that it is possible for anybody that walks and talks and looks like me or not to have experienced something similar. Not to get off philosophical, but Terence is a philosopher from old ancient Greek. And he said, I am human. Nothing human can be foreign to me. And so if stigma, if prejudice, if racism, if femphobia, if any phobia can be inflicted on me, then it can in fact be inflicted on you. And that is probably one thing that had not bubbled up to the surface for me. So I appreciate you adding that to the conversation. NYCBK70 said, mass black gay men commit suicide due to not being supported or affirmed, with the segment in our community feels as if mask men don't need it. Again, that is another great point that I might not have touched on or has not bubbled up to the surface in the conversation, is that there are pieces of our culture, like what I heard when I read that comment, NYCBK70, is you got to check on your strong friends. And there are a lot of black men in general who do not feel checked on because everybody just assumes they got it. They're strong, they're powerful, they're whatever, and they don't get checked on. And I think that is what I'm hearing from the dialogue. And that's what I'm learning through this conversation, is that we got to check on our strong friends. And that sometimes is our masculine identified kinsmen. And what I will say though is, every time I sit at this desk, I try to embody what it means to be black gay men who love black gay men. There's a reason why that is a tagline of the show. What it means to be us, whether we are masc or femme, gay or tall or short or bi or pan, or all the versions of us that exist. What it means to be us and to love us. And that means being masculine and loving masculine. For some, that is the Masc4Masc thing. And I need to be able to affirm that. And if I have not, I welcome being checked and called in softly, because I'm a delicate flower. But let me know when I have opportunity to grow. I think that's a great time, a great place to call it. That was our show. I am Jay the Gentleman. We'll be right back here with another episode of Dear Black Gay Men Podcast tomorrow, Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. For more exclusive content, you can join me on Substack at dearblackgaymen.substack.com. The link is in the description. I appreciate y'all more than I can ever express. I will see y'all next time. Bye.